Hello and welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins. So much to get into today. We are going to be talking hoops, but first, let me go ahead and do a spiel of what's going on in the sports world in high school. So much going on with the recruiting world right now with football. Lot of stuff going on. So let me go ahead and talk about some of the things. For one, 247 Sports is actually changing up their rankings. They're going to do essentially where they're going to have a recruiting team only and then a rankings team only as far as just players and things like that. So I think that's cool. They're trying to eliminate bias. So, I think that's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out, how it's going to look kind of going forward. I think that part is incredible. So we'll see what happens with that. And then Chad Simmons, I believe, is going to be at our Georgia Elite Classic. Make sure you guys go to scoreacl.com. We will be holding the Georgia Elite Classic practices 27th and 28th, and then we will have the game on the 29th. So that'll be a lot of fun. Definitely. Any players that want to play, let me know. That'll be super duper fun. Also, in other news, Peyton Straco, dominant three-star running back for West Forsyth, committed, I think, last night. He committed to Clemson. So major news there. He is going to be a Clemson Tiger. Can't wait to see what the career holds for him as far as collegiately. A guy that I was high on all year long, Jeremy Hecklinski. Ever since I seen him in that first game, it was 44-41 defeat, but I thought he balled out. He was throwing the ball really well. That game he had 426 yards, 4 touchdowns. That game there, I knew also, I was kind of new. It was kind of my first week my third week, my first games definitely for Score Atlanta. So I just knew then seeing him up close and personal that he was the guy. He is now currently a three-star. He led his team past Buford in a major, major upset that I don't know how I did it, but I was able to predict it, and he ended up doing it and balled out. But he is now a Wake Forest Demon Deacon, so shout out to him. Congrats to Jeremy. I think they really got a good quarterback in the 2024 class. I think he is that special, so shout out to him. We had Connor Lew kind of switching up. Instead of going to Miami, he is now going to be an Auburn Tiger. So that's exciting. Instead of ACC, he went to SEC, so I think that's intriguing. And then Kewan Brown of South Atlanta decommitted about a week ago from Purdue and now has reopened his commitment. We'll see where he goes, and he did just pick up an offer from Louisville. So that's just some of the news as far as in the football world. Again, we will have a Georgia Elite Classic out towards actually after Christmas is over, so definitely tune into that. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm supposed to bring on today guest Keisha Brown. She's a former WNBA player, so I definitely was excited to bring her on. Her Galloway program is performing brilliantly this year. They're 9-1. Definitely wanted to talk to her some hoops. We'll see if we're able to kind of get her on. Had some connection issues earlier, so we'll see. And then the second guest for the 240 slot was supposed to be Forest Park's coach Stephen Cole. I haven't heard anything from him today, but hopefully to bring him on. If not, you guys will be here with me. I'm just going to talk some hoops, what's been going on, and go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and break it down. First off, actually, I did an interview. It was super cool. I'll talk about that before I begin. I was with Daniel Pounds, former Newton standout. He was a three-star, really good. Played for Atlanta Express AAU ball. Has been playing ever since he was a little kid. He comes from a really good family of athletes. I think his brother, ran track. His mom was very athletic. His whole family is just athletic. But he grew actually from about 6 feet to about 6'4", going into his freshman season. And he kind of told me a little bit how it felt a little bit weird for him, but he was able to kind of, that's when he started dunking the basketball really well. He started at Forest Park, played there for 3 seasons. One of his favorite coaches ended up leaving his junior season, so he transferred. And then some guys he kind of came up with in the AAU circuit was Ja'Kai Newton, who's a 4-star going to Indiana University. Also Stephon Castle, I think the 4-star going to UConn University of Connecticut. So, he's played with studs. So his decision-making was kind of, okay, hey, I'm going to go play with some guys I already know. And they had a really good season. They beat Norcross early in the season by about 20 points last year. They ended up losing in the Final Four to them by, I think, 2 or 3 points. But he had a great season. He averaged a double-double. But now Pounds is actually at Spire Academy. His reason for kind of going there, he told me in the interview, was, he essentially wanted to continue to better himself. He was looking for growth. He felt like he wasn't ready quite yet, so he wanted to go there to develop more of his game, develop his outside shot. His mid-range shot is really good, but he wanted to add different elements to the game and the skill set, maybe that he didn't necessarily had before. And he wanted to get his mind right and things like that. So that's why he's at Spire right now, just trying to develop and get better. And he already committed to Old Dominion. I think they're having I got to check and see what kind of season they're having, but I know he will be there next fall. And kind of the reason he went to Old Dominion or why he committed there was in the interview he told me, it felt like they put me first. It felt like they really valued me. I didn't come second fiddle, and it made me kind of feel like I was part of the family. So I think that is a critical part of it. That part is really important to him. And, just one of the quotes I wanted to outline really quick that really stood out to me, what he said about family. And if you guys want to see the full interview, it is on my YouTube page. Go to Sports Talk with Najeh. Also go to sportstalkwithnaj.com. The full interview and the story about him is all on there. Really good story, really good kid. But yes, let's see. Okay, so he says, ever since I was young, coming up and playing basketball, I also built a relationship with my coach, no matter what sport I played, said Pounds. If you do not trust that person on the court or on the field, it will not work. It's like we are a family, so we got each other's back. I know he got my back, and we will be good on the court. I know I can step up on his three, and if, he goes past me, he's going to step up. It is a family thing. You can't play without trust and a bond with your family. So obviously you see family is a critical part to him. But again, the full interview with Daniel Pounds is on my YouTube page, Sports Talk with Najeh. Definitely go check it out. Some really, really good stuff. Newton's a program that's really good on the basketball realm. Excuse me, they're 3-3 right now, but their record doesn't show how good they are. They had a narrow loss recently to Norcross last week. I think it was about 2 points, but really good program. They're dealing with some kind of injuries this year too, but it was awesome to see kind of where he's at now. And he also has a viral clip. So you guys go to TikTok, go to Top Recruits on the TikTok. He has a viral putback slam when he played against Bronny James. If you guys don't know who Bronny James is, basically, he's the son of LeBron James. Very heavily touted recruit. We'll see what he ended up doing and what college he's going to go into, but I think this is the class he's going to graduate in. So he does have a video on there. So definitely go check that out as well. But let's go ahead and get into what's been going on the boys' side. So definitely got a shout out to sandyspill.com. If you guys aren't subscribed to Sandy Spill, you should definitely do so. He does a great job recapping all of the games, what's going on. This is where I'm getting some of my information from. So definitely want to shout him out for letting me use some of this. And he does, again, a marvelous job. But let's talk about some of the results. So North Gwinnett out there in 7A to defeat Discovery 65-48. Cherokee defeated Marietta 67-59. Lowndes beat Brunswick 39-31. Out there in 6A, Jonesboro defeated Mundy's Mill 72-48. Marist defeated South Forsyth 65-44. Sequoia defeated Woodstock 72-54. Lovejoy defeated Forest Park 66-50. Noonan defeated Douglas County 62-44. Veterans defeated Northside Warner Robins 67-63. Alpharetta defeated West Forsyth 61-52. Then out there in 5A, Dutchtown defeating Warner Robins 59-48. Jefferson defeating Flowerly Branch 70-64. You had Notre Dame, Tennessee defeating Calhoun 65-61. And then out there in 4A, you had Southwest DeKalb defeating Clarkston 83-21. Big victory there for them. North Oconee defeating East Forsyth 43-40. Madison County defeating Johnson Gainesville 91-19. A very dominant game there. Chris Rhodes led them with 20 points. Spalding defeated Howard 54-42. Cherokee Bluff defeated Forsyth Central 61-50. North Hall defeated Cedar Shoals 58-49. Walnut Grove defeated Chestatee 61-52. Out there in 3A, you had Beach defeating Liberty County 67-57. Calvary Day defeating Grove 63-58. And then out there in 2A, Thompson defeating Washington County 66-53. Windsor Forest defeating Tattnall County 67-64. Model defeating Haralson County 90-55. Rockmart 68-56. And then in Class A Division 1, had Social Circle defeating Morgan County 59-49. Commerce defeating Riverside Military 44-40. And then you had Oglethorpe County defeating Athens Christian 71-58. And in Class A Division 2, Portal defeating Scriven County 76-42. And then George Washington Academy defeating Prince Avenue 50-49. Before I continue with some of the basketball, I also wanted to say, man, Craig, this is really exciting. They are actually at a press conference right now. Our director, our founder, IJ Rosenberg, down at the bins. We are now going to be having the state championships next year instead of in Georgia State Center. We'll be back at the Benz. I think it's going to be a great venue. I'm glad they were able to work something out. I mean, this year we kind of dealt with the elements of well, it wasn't cold, it was more humid, but we did the elements of rain, and I think it's good to kind of have the talent displayed on the forefront at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in a NFL stadium where kids can play. They can put everything on. It's not saying that it wasn't before, but I think we can get a bigger turnout now. It wasn't, as much, I guess you could say students there, or even families that came and did make the trip. But I think it's be on a grander scale when you have it at the Benz, and Corky Kell, of course, next year we'll have some games at the Benz as well. So I thought that's a great move. They're actually going on right now. I don't think there's anywhere you can stream it, but I did want to update you guys on that as well. But the Benz, the state championships next year are moving back to the Benz. So major news there. Can't wait to see how that plays out. And Craig brought up a great point. We will see. They are strongly considering instant replay. If you guys haven't seen our Underrated Overlook podcast, definitely check that out. We talked about it's a 3-year deal? Okay, 3-year deal. Craig just updated me, 3-year deal with it back to the Benz. And again, if you guys didn't see the play, it was very egregious. He never crossed the plane. Ref's hands go right into the air immediately as if he scored. Never got in. The back judge, I don't know why he didn't consult with the ref. Kind of just work that out and see, and get the right call. But hopefully next year we'll have some instant replay. We might even have it at Corky Kell. Not sure yet. All those details will be ironed out, so we'll see if they fully implement it. But it's supposed to be a discussion with the committee this year, so hopefully we won't have to deal with that next year. But I digress. We will continue with some of the basketball things. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lost this season. They lost to Battle 73-70. So yeah, they are now 4-1 right now. Wheeler is. Then the top-notch team has Isaiah Collier, who's going to USC. McEachern was upset by Pebblebrook 64-63 in a really close game. And then Grayson is balling out right now. They are 7-1. They were able to beat Berkmar at the Hawks Naismith Holiday Classic 67-47. Very dominant game. Jakari Harris there had 21 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists. Norcross was able to hold off Newton 73-71, as I mentioned earlier. Big win for them. Let's see. Also had, trying to see. Okay, Milton was able to pick up a pair of wins in the Hoop Hall Classic. They beat Gray Collegiate South Carolina 55-53, really close game there. And Millennium, Arizona 61-46. Carrollton was slipped down in his rankings to number 10. They lost in overtime. Looks like to Hiram. Yeah, looks like to Hiram. But Carrollton does get Caleb Odom, another. Again, he's a standout in football, but he's also a standout in basketball. So they're going to get him back. In 6A for the boys, major results. Alexander was able to beat South Paulding, who's number 9, 86-68 in that game. Grovetown, looks like they lost and got hammered by Columbus, Florida, 81-55. Really interesting result there. We had St. Pius was able to climb up, even though they lost 58-55 to Eagles Landing. Looks like we have Langston Hughes. They won a pair of tight games. They beat New Manchester 56-54, and then Newton 53-48. And then, let's see. Oh, and then they also add to their team, Craig, really interesting. They add Jelani Thurman and Bo Hughley to their basketball team roster as well. Wow. So spewing with talent all over their rosters. Yeah, so he'll probably be out a couple games, but he's definitely going to play. Then you have Etowah kind of holding off Cherokee. Yeah, exactly. Two sports stars. I totally agree with that. And then Blessed Trinity, they're 8-3 right now. Their 3 losses was to Mount Bethel, looks like Walton, and St. Pius. But Kale continues to play well out there in 5A. They had picked up a 63-51 victory, looks like. And then Eagles Landing, they beat St. Pius 58-55 on the road last week. And they had a 68-51 win against Warner Robins. Hiram edged Carrollton 62-57. Mays, they added Rock Lee to the roster. No major news there with them. Creekside, let me see. All right, and then Jones County actually lost their first game of the season. They lost to Warner Robins 58-55. And then you had Dutchtown. They lost to South Gwinnett 50-44. Lithonia, they lost also to the Comets 49-45. And let's see, in 4A you have McDonough. They lost, it looks like, Lovett 68-58. And then Fayette County, they held on. They were able to, they lost actually to Sandy Creek 92-66. That was a big loss for them. And then you had Southwest DeKalb. They beat Miller Grove 49-35. And then, Columbia won their game. Looks like Baldwin starting to hit their stride as well. All right, let's see some more results. Looks like you had Westside Macon lose to Spalding 63-58. But they already beat Shiloh in the Battle of the Peach 76-73. Madison County, they plummeted some spots in his rankings. Lost 57-56 to Seconder. And then let's move to 3A. Sandy Creek, they did defeat Fayette County 92-66. Big victory for them. Johnson Savannah had a 65-62 loss. Calvary Day. And then let's see. Cedar Grove sits at his number 2 in his rankings. And then Beach is number 4. And then Oconee County is still sitting there in the rankings. They did lose this week 50-34. Looks like to North Oconee. Monroe, they lost to Westover 63-48. And then, let's see, looks like Wesleyan almost about to drop out. They had a 47-36 loss to White County. And then Monroe area, they picked up road wins against Loganville 58-54. Appalachia 70-56. So doing pretty good there. So those are some of the major results in the boys. And then I'm actually going to look at some of these rankings. Craig, do you actually do the boys rankings?
Yeah, pretty much yesterday.
You do? Okay. All right.
I would say that team that beat Grovetown, Christopher Columbus, pretty significantly.
Right.
Beat Wheeler by 3. And so Wheeler lost to Grovetown last year, so I think that kind of shows Wheeler's a lot better this year. Grovetown, not so much.
Interesting. Okay. Wow, it's already 2:20. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to break down in these rankings from Craig, and then I'm going to get into some classifications I want to talk about was on the girls' side. So, yeah, we'll talk about these rankings, and then I'll switch to the girls' side, and then we'll break all that down and talk about 3A and 2A. I really wanted to bring up those and a really good region out there in 3A that a lot of people aren't talking about. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. So let's break down some of these rankings, 7A. I'm going to kind of have a one-on-one kind of convo with Craig, even though he's producing right now. I definitely want to get some insight on these rankings. But, I mean, I can't disagree with Wheeler. They're at number 1. I mean, 4-1 right now. Only loss was recently. So, I mean, I can't disagree with that one. It looks like they lost to Battle of the Peach, 73-70 to Columbus. So can't disagree with that one. Norcross is balling. They're still undefeated, 7-0 right now in our rankings. Grayson is actually number 3. They're 7-1. They've been playing really well. Newton is 3-3. Again, a very superior, talented team. Nothing but stars all over the court for them. Ja'Kai Newton, and then Stephon Castle. They're having a really good season. The surprise going I want to ask Craig about is Milton. Milton is number 5. They're also high in the other rankings for Sandy Spiel. They're 8-0 right now. So I'm kind of curious what's going on in that Milton basketball program. They're kind of known more for, I guess you could say, their football program, but they're playing really good right now. So let's find out what's going on with Milton. Let's see. Boys basketball. They're 9-0 actually right now.
Season last year, the first game of the season, 2 of their starters got arrested for a murder on the court right after the game.
That was that big story last year, wasn't it?
So last year
Oh,
they had a ton of turnover, but it looks like they're really back this year.
interesting. I do remember that. It was over like some deal or something, right?
Something in Alpharetta happened. They arrested him on the court.
While they were playing.
They one of the guys had 27, a double. The other guy had 24. They're celebrating the win, and then in front of everyone.
That's pretty insane. Okay. Wow. I'm lost for words. But no, they're balling right now. Let's see. They've played Parkview, Shiloh, North Gwinnett. They played a really good Pebblebrook team, looks like. Forsyth Central, 61-50, 51. They won that one. They beat Great Collegiate Academy, 55-53. Um, they beat Millennium, a good school from Arizona, 61-46. They're having a really, really good season. And then McEachern is number 6, obviously, in our rankings. Pebblebrook, 7. Carrollton, number 8. Again, they bring Caleb Odom, so that'll be interesting. Archer sits at 9. And Osborne sits at 10. So, really intriguing there. Curious to see kind of what happens there. Then Alexander sits number 1 in our polls. 2 is Jonesboro. 3, Grovetown. What's going on with Grovetown, Craig? I've seen them in a lot of rankings too. How good are they playing right now?
They beat Wheeler last year in the second round.
Right.
Ended up winning state, and I think that's why they're getting into all these big tournaments. But it looks like they have to replace a bunch of players. They are having a slow start, but they do have to rebuild a ton. But they put themselves on the map last year. They're definitely a top 10 team. It's just hard to repeat that magical season they had last year.
Right, and a little bit about Grovetown, guys. So they started season 2-0, wins over Cross Creek and Westside, but a really, really tough non-region schedule. So I can see why they're still in the rankings. They're 2-5 right now, but they had to play McEachern, they played Buford, they played Newton, they've played Wheeler. They've played some pretty good teams. So they're learning a lot about themselves. Early in the season, Vashawn Ferguson is balling with 26 points per game. He's averaging. Darion Reed is averaging 20 points per game. So, and then they have Markel Freeman with 14. So they're distributing the wealth pretty good with those 3. But I think they got a really good test. Some good, interesting games coming up. Tri-Cities, Perry. And they're going to have, looks like, a tournament they're going to play in. And then their region looks winnable. So, I think this non-region schedule is going to only help propel them, when they get into that big region play. But now you got Hughes. They bring back Jelani Thurman and Bill Hughley. So who knows how good they're going to play. They just won a state title. Again, if you guys didn't see my interview with Coach Boone, they require, it's mandatory that their players essentially play 2 sports. So I think you're seeing that there. Lanier is number 5, St. Pius 6, Marist 7, 8 is South Paulding, Etowah is 9, and then Blessed Trinity is going to be 10. 5A, we got Kell. Kell's having a good season. There are, I think, let's see what Kell is right now. Kell is 7-0. So they're having a really good year. And then Eagles Landing, we have next Hiram, Mays, Johns Creek, Dutchtown, Lithonia, Chapel Hill, Creekside, and then Tri-Cities. 4A, McDonald's having a good year. They are number 1 in our poll. Then 2 is Pace Academy. 3 is Lovett. Fayette County's 4. Southwest DeKalb 5. 6 is going to be Baldwin. 7, Miller Grove. 8, Westside Macon. 9, North Oconee. 3 is going to be Madison County. Then 3A, we got Sandy Creek, Johnson Savannah, Beach, Cedar Grove, Oconee County, Cross Creek, Calvary Day, Monroe area, Wesleyan. 2A, we're going to have Westside, Augusta, Columbia, Thompson, Spencer, Providence Christian, Sumter County, Putnam County, Drew Charter, Windsor Forest, Northcott Christian, and in Class A Division 1, sending out 1 is Mount Bethel, then is Kings Ridge, Mount Pisgah, Mount Vernon, Social Circle, Tallulah Falls, Woodville, Tompkins, Darlington, Dublin, Chattanooga, or Chattahooga, excuse me. Then Class A Division Two, Green Forest Christian, number 1, 2 Christian Heritage. Then you're gonna have Portal, Wilkinson County, Manchester, Charlton County, Dooley County, Mitchell County, Mason County, Calhoun County. A lot of counties there. But that's our rankings for the boys. That's what I got as far as coverage. A lot going on there. Again, I'm going to dive way more into it now. Football season is officially basically over besides our big event. But yes, definitely going to dive more into it. But I do actually want to get into the girls. I'm going to highlight a specific 3A and 2A. I want to go ahead and dive right into that before I break down the upper conferences. Because I feel like every time I come on here, I'm always talking about 7A, 6A, 5A. I'm never talking about 3A, 2A, and even 1A. So I definitely want to break all that down. So let's talk about 3A. Right now, in our rankings, Hebron Christian, they're 8-0 right now. They're having a really good season. They have staple wins this year already over Forest Park, White County, in their third game of the season. All the wins have been by double digits this year. They have been wreaking havoc. Hebron Christian is looking really good. I wanted to get the coach on, but very busy because it's holiday time, visiting family and things like that. I couldn't get them on, but they're having a phenomenal year. 2, Wesleyan, they're 6-1. Their only loss was to a really good White County team. It's 10-1 right now. Where they lost only by 8 points. They beat a really good Lumpkin County team where they stormed back from 14 points to win that one just a couple days or about a week or so ago. Lumpkin County's 8-1, really good team this year. Only loss again was the aforementioned Wesleyan. They have their core team back. They won the title again last year with these great players, Kate Jackson, Avery Jones, and Lexi Pierce. I think they will only continue to get better and better and better. Really good schedule there. Then let's talk about Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe. They're number 4. They're 9-0 right now. They played Tennessee Schools to start out the gate. Performed really good against them. Blew them out. Their last 5 games right now, they're averaging 75 points per game. So they are really getting it clicking on the offensive side of the ball, shooting the ball really well. The offense has really hit their stride at a pretty critical stretch of the season, I would say, before you kind of get into region play. So they're having a pretty good start right now. 5 right now is going to be Pickens. They are 9-0. They beat 4th-ranked Fannin County out there in 4A at 54-40 in the second game of the season. I think the game of the week actually this week will be Friday night between Pickens and actually Lumpkin County. Again, Pickens 9-0, Lumpkin County is 8-1. So I think this will be a great region game between both of these teams to see who kind of gets the upper edge on the other one. So really good game. If you want a good game, definitely check out that one. That would be really intriguing. And then at 6 we have White County. They're 10-1. They beat number 5 ranked Banks County 51-29, and then and number 2 Wesleyan. But they have a really tough region, but it's probably going to be one of the better ones in the state, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So Region 7, I mean, good as it gets. You got White County, Lumpkin County, Pickens, and you have Wesleyan. So, I mean, I wonder who's going to come out of that region. All 4 of those teams are really good. I mean, again, White County 10-1, Pickens 9-0, Lumpkin County 8-1, Wesleyan 6-1. So those 4 are going to definitely battle it out for a region title. And whoever wins out of that region, don't be surprised if they make a deep playoff run out there in 3A, because they will be definitely battle tested after having faced each other multiple times. Then let's move to Cross Creek.
Now Wesleyan wins snap Lumpkin County's 33-game winning streak.
They snapped. Wesleyan beating Lumpkin County. Wow. That tells you all you need to know. See?
Shazadi Wright is Wesleyan's point guard. She goes by Chit Chat. She's been balling.
Chit Chat. Okay. Chit Chat's been balling. All right. So 7, we've got Cross Creek. They lost to 73 Stockbridge week 1. And the South Carolina team, Michaela Bogans, leads the team right now in points per game, 17.6. 3 players on the team average 13 points or more per game, so really spreading out the wealth. Only concern for them is they turn over the ball a lot. They had 25 turnovers per game, so definitely want to kind of curb that a little bit, bring that down some. But if they're able to do that, I think they have a chance to contend. Then at 8 is Carver Columbus. They're 2-5 right now. Kind of surprised they're still high in the rankings after kind of a 2-5 start. Kaylee Simpson is having a really all region type of year, 20.4 points per game. To their credit, though, their schedule has been really tough. I mean, they've played undefeated River Ridge. They've played Josie. They played at Harrison, who was a really good team last year. Forest Park, Spencer. So they've had a really, really tough schedule. But we'll see how they're looking at the end of it. Dawson County is 9. They're 5-3 right now. Two of their three losses this season come by combined 5 points this year. They're in that tough region with Pickens, Lumpkin, White County, and also Wesleyan. So yeah, I think they are performing great. Hold on, this is a guess, guys. Say 240. I'm trying to get this one over for 240. All right, so that was Stephen Cole. Just texted him to see if he can come on. He should be hopping on about 240, so we'll see what happens here. The other coach, it might be 3 o'clock, Craig. So we'll see what happens with the first one, Keisha Brown, see what happens. But let's keep going. Mary Parsons, right now they're 8-0. They have a good game coming up, actually, this Friday against undefeated Lamar County. Will be interesting to see who kind of wins this game. Probably best team they faced all season. Mary Parsons really does it by committee on the offensive end. No really standout players. What really stood out to me though with this team is their defense. I mean, it's really good. This year, the highest scored on them was 47 points. They're giving up just 30 points per game this season, and they have a game where they're giving up just 6 points allowed the entire game. Yes, you heard that right. 6 points in 4 quarters. So again, this is a great defensive team in Mary Parsons. I think you can see them again to continue to kind of go up in our poll because I mean they're having a phenomenal year. So 3A, really interesting basketball. Again, I think that Region 7 will be really intriguing to see who comes out, who's going to win, and again with all those power teams, the Pickens, the Lumpkin Counties, the Wesleyans. I think it'll be interesting. And the White County, excuse me. We'll be interested to see who comes out. Let's move to 2A. Mount Perrin Christian, 7-0 right now. They have a signature win this season against Josie. Their defense has been on fire lately. They're giving up just 14.3 points per game in this 3-game winning streak that they have. They have a really good test coming up in the tournament, after Christmas tournament, excuse me, when they will play Forest Park. So we'll see how they look against them. Forest Park again having a great year, 8-1 on the season. Josie 6-1. Kiesia Henderson is doing a good job of scoring and distributing for them. She's averaging 11 points per game and 7 assists. Josiah Holmes, excuse me if I'm butchering that name. She's shooting really good from the field, 86% from the field. Looks like she takes advantage of all the opportunities when she gets in the post. Can't forget about Ariana Booker. She's averaging nearly a double-double, 13 points per game and 9 rebounds. Let's go to Central Macon at 3. They've beaten Jones County this year, Stockbridge, Veterans, all really good teams. They have Dodge County coming up, who was undefeated at 5-0 this year in the tournament, so that would be a good test and challenge to see where they are at. Then you got Fannin County at 4-2A, 6-2 so far. 2 losses to Pickens, 54-40, and then Rabin and Gap Nakuchi, 58-25. They will have some really good tests coming up next year when they face off, next year when they face off against Elbert County. Again, Elbert County is the defending state champions. Really good squad they have over there. If you guys didn't see that interview I had with Elbert County coach Josh Jones, had it earlier at the start of the season. So that'll be an interesting test for Fannin County. Bates County sits at number 5, 7-3. They played a really good White County team early in the season. I thought that was a good non-region test for them. Riley Murphy and Addison Horde, they have been really good for them on the defensive end this year. Murphy's averaging 3.7 steals per game, and then Horde is averaging 3.6 steals. So a good defensive team again over there at Bates County. Dodge County, as I mentioned earlier, 5-0. Alteria Gooch leads them with 14 points per game. Lyric Green is averaging about 8.8 rebounds per game. So those are the two standouts over there. Then you got Landmark Christian. They're sitting at 4-5 right now. Currently, they've lost 2 straight games. They got a really big test coming up against an undefeated Callaway that's 4-0 on the season right now. And Gabby Grooms is averaging 15 points per game. So that's the standout there. We'll see if they can continue to kind of end this little losing streak they're on. Then Columbia is at 8. They're 6-3. 3 players on their teams averaging about 10 points per game. They're off to a 3-0 start to the region right now. They were on a 4-game winning streak before falling to Southwest DeKalb. Then you got Northeast Macon at 3-3. They had a really tough stretch in a 3-game losing streak. They dropped games against Veterans, Cross Creek, and Jones County. They picked up a win against a really good team, Academy for Classical Education. Lanaya Richardson has been playing really good this year. So forced to be reckoned with. She's averaging 21.3 points per game. She had 21 points in her last win. She's improved her shooting tremendously from her junior season to her senior season. Get this, junior season she shot 35% from the field. She is currently at 54% from the field as a senior. So definitely a standout player for them. We'll see if she can continue to improve and get better. Then you got Kip, 8-1 right now in the season. Only loss this year was to a really good North County team at 7-3. Jaquiah Jones, not 29 points per game. She's having an all-region offensive player type of a season. And then Layla Williams has had 17.1 points per game. So they're kind of the boatload of the offense for them. And they both have led them in scoring pretty much every single game. So I think those are really intriguing out there in 3A and out there in 2A. That's what stands out to me. Region 7, keep your eyes on it. White County, Lumpkin County, Pickens, and then Wesleyan.